Hello, hello, and welcome back to Password. So, I figured out you're supposed to say no to following Orlando. Then the day will play out pretty much the same until you get to here. Uh, where you're where land we where you Dave you and Dave what where Dave and Haas are going to the rec room, and Orlando is like, oh, I'll do a thing real quick. So that's yeah. Should I just head upstairs with Haas? Orlando seemed to hesitate at my question, mulling it over. The image of Orlando on the ground flashes in my mind, and I wondered whether this time it was worth following, or better yet, beating him to where he'd end up.
Yeah, maybe it's a good idea. I won't be long, promise.
All right, see you upstairs.
See you then.
I nodded to Orlando as he wandered back towards the kitchen. As for me, I wasn't going to be headed upstairs at all. If my hunch was correct, there was only one place in the mansion that it'd be where that I'd been to that a floor matching like the one in the vision, the vault. There was something oppressive about standing here. I hadn't come here to mess with the panel. I'd done that already, but now I figured it was just time to wait. I paced for a moment before hearing someone approach. I backed up against the wall and waited, keeping my eyes on the door. I thought so.
Dave, what are you doing here?
It was at this point that Orlando realized that the carving knife he had in his hand was on full display, and he quickly hid it behind his back. Me? What are you? With a knife as well?
Oh, I can explain that.
Okay.
So, the knife is for,
Were you expecting someone down here?
not exactly, but maybe.
Orlando sighed out, stepping into the room properly. He looked into the basement before closing the door behind him, leaving us alone in the room behind the vault.
Time to come clean, I guess.
Did you come down here before?
Yeah, and, you're probably going to think I'm crazy.
Orlando pointed to the panel over by the door, gesturing with his head.
I messed around with that before. It was a couple days ago. But apparently I got the code for the door right. At least it made a happy chime sound, and all the lights went out.
I suddenly felt cold, a shiver going down my spine as Orlando's description seemed very familiar. You got the code right?
Crazy, right? The door didn't open, I don't think. I might have passed out and had a dream or something, but it worried me all the same. This was that nightmare I was telling you about before.
Orlando wandered over, fidgeting.
It couldn't have been real, right?
I looked him in the eye, and all I could do is grimace at him. If what I saw was in the same vein, then it might have not been might have not been real, at least not anymore. What did you see? In your dream, I mean. You didn't tell me before, but now. I gestured loosely to the vault.
Oh, are you sure you want to know that?
If you tell me, I'll tell you what I saw.
You saw something too, and didn't say anything?
Hey now, I was in the same boat I was in the same boat as you.
You're right. Okay, so after all the lights went out, I saw you.
That doesn't sound so bad.
With a bear.
That bear? Dean?
I don't know. I don't think so, but more importantly, you were.
Orlando's voice trailed off into a whisper, keeping that volume as he continued to speak.
Dead, I think.
Well, yeah, you said that, but how was I dead? Orlando paled, his hand free going to his neck and rubbing it, refusing to look at me. Mirroring him, I found myself doing the same, gulping. Oh, a few tense moments passed while neither of us said anything. The implication of what Orlando had done, speaking enough to get the point across. I expected him to say that we got, like, gunned down, you know, because of Rowdy, but okay, that's not what was going on. Well, fair's fair. Something happened to me as well, except I saw you.
Me? What?
Well, you looked like you were sleeping, but if this thing shows people dead, then
Oh. How'd I die?
I don't know. You looked like you were just sleeping, but you had that knife with you. Do I want to know how I died?
Oh, I'd rather not try to remember, really. What'd you put into the thing?
Me? Oh, sentence. Without waiting, Orlando wandered over to the keypad, punching in something before it beeped angrily at him.
That doesn't work. Just comes back with that it's wrong.
But I only used it this morning. I wandered over to punch the same thing, but it beeped angrily at me as well. I promise it worked before.
Well, I guess maybe they only work once.
Let's try yours. Where did you punch in?
Yeah, I'm not risking that one.
Wait, that's not fair.
Yeah? Well, maybe I don't want to think about seeing my best friend hanging from a rafter wherever by the neck. Sorry, just it looks so gruesome. I'd hate to think that you'd see it and it'd give you nightmares. It's making me squeamish even as it is.
I grumbled, folding my arms over my chest in a huff. Orlando gently places the knife on the table on the ground and wrapped his arm around me in a hug, resting his head against mine. What was your plan anyway, coming down here with a knife?
Honestly, I was about ready to camp out here tonight and maybe try and fight off anyone coming to put more bad things into this machine.
Would that work?
I don't know. I just wanted to feel brave for once, thinking that it'd be saving your life, and got enough courage to at least try planning something out.
But now?
But now I'm worried about how I might have kicked the bucket trying that if what you saw was right. You said I looked like I was sleeping, and sentence was the code?
I nodded, and Orlando picked up the knife back up, tapping the flat of the flat of it lightly in the palm of his other hand while he thought.
I wonder.
Wonder what? What we should be getting back to Haas?
Oh shoot, I forgot about Haas for the moment. But no, something else. I wonder if it was referring to a death sentence, capital punishment and such, right?
Oh, okay, but why?
There was a few things that Grandpa taught me about the family business. Things you can hide in food, things you should look out for just in case, stuff like that. More for protection, really, honest. But there was one time he was telling me about how inmates on death row got executed by lethal injection. There's 3 parts. One injection is like a really strong muscle relaxant. Apparently an overdose can shut down all your muscles, and you suffocate without being able to gasp for air.
That sounds horrible.
Well, yes, but that might be able to cause what you saw, at least based on that code word. Not to imply I know more than you. That's just what seems to be what makes sense to me.
Orlando gives me another squeeze with an arm before pulling away.
Come on, let's go back. Let's meet up with Haas and get back to that game.
Orlando detoured on the way back to drop off the knife back in the kitchen, but seems to dash back to me as we arrive at the room at the same time. But Haas was the one wandering over to us, seemingly fine with how late we were. Oh, Haas, sorry for keeping you waiting.
Yeah, that's my fault. Sorry.
Nah, it's all right. I figured something might be up given you weren't there already after I showed up. Got distracted myself. Oh, yeah? With what?
Nothing important. Creepy, but not important, really.
I shot Orlando a look before turning back to Haas. Did you,
What? You expect me to kiss and tell? I wouldn't ask that of you, given who knows what you two were up to while I was waiting. We weren't.
Doesn't bother me any, but next time, maybe give me a heads up. You two want some alone time to make out. Remember, really, doesn't bother me at all.
But we weren't.
Well, I'll let you guys get back to it. I think I could do with an early night after all, but I'll grab you two in the morning to show you something I found creepy. You're going to show us? Right when we wake up?
Would rather me show you now, and then you struggle to sleep before it? Ugh, pass on that, Hoss.
Tomorrow morning it is. I'll come back. I'll come get you, and we'll assemble. Somewhere. I'll think of it and deal with it in the morning. Alrighty.
Good night,
Good night, you two. Hoss bounced away, leaving Orlando and I awkwardly standing there with the implication that we've been doing things we hadn't. So he thinks we were kissing, huh?
Seems like it.
And should we do something about that?
Well,
Orlando seemed to be thinking hard on something before he just came out and asked.
would you like to?
Wait, what?
All right, so go with me on this. Way I see it, Haas might let that slip to someone, and then we could get chewed out for something we didn't do. Alternatively, we could do it, and then, well, that's basically as far as that goes. But really, if you've never kissed someone before, then maybe getting some practice in for when you kiss Dean could be useful.
Do you really think that'd help?
Hey, imagine when you two go on a date, and then rather than you being completely clueless or accidentally biting his tongue, you have some idea what to do.
The idea made some level of sense, although part of me was still nervous about the whole kissing thing. Was there an obligation for Orlando and I to be more than just friends if we kissed? He liked Sal anyway, right? And I guess I had a thing for Dean. The longer I mulled over the question, the more I noticed Orlando getting antsy about my lack of reply.
We don't have to, just an idea.
I think I might be able to get some practice in. Like, at least being walked through it once might help.
Well, alright, I think I can do that. Let's go.
Orlando led me back to my room, figuring that at least in my own space, I'd be more comfortable.
Okay, so, Kissing 101. Class is in session.
I felt my cheeks burn, and I went and sat on the bed, figuring that was the most comfortable place to be while Orlando explained.
First thing to know is that there's no wrong way to kiss.
Is that true? Is this statement true, commenters? I'm asking because I don't know. I've never kissed anyone before. Wait, but you were saying the thing about the tongue biting.
Well, aside from that, don't go biting people.
Oh, but what if they like it?
Also, don't go accidentally spitting embers into their mouth. Also, maybe don't just force your tongue into their mouth.
Oh.
Okay, let's try this. I think I have a pretty good read on Dean. This is just like role-playing, right?
Oh, who should I be? If we're role-playing, I guess I should be someone, right?
You be you, Dave. I'll be Dean.
Oh, okay. Hi, Dean. There was a moment's pause before Orlando lowers his voice, winked at me, planting his hands on his hips as Dean was prone to do, and spoke.
Well, hello, handsome. You're looking pretty kissable right now.
Oh my fucking god. I felt my cheeks burn again. Ears standing right up from the combination of how embarrassed it sounds coming from Orlando and how accurate he was being in capturing Dean's personality. I started to laugh, nervous, stopping only when I noticed Orlando started to move. Oh, He sauntered forward, placing a hand on my shoulders, and lifted my chin with the other hand. With the other.
Do you want a kiss?
I, Orlando gently tipped me back so that I was laying back on the bed, with him coming up beside the bed, so my lap was in his. He kept eye contact with me while the whole way down, his breathing becoming slightly heavier, eyelids drooping, a voice barely above a whisper.
I think he'd kiss you like this.
Oh, okay. There was a moment's pause before he came closer again, and I shut my eyes as I felt his breath on my muzzle. It was warm, very warm, but I could only register it for a second before he pressed his lips in mine. I squeaked softly, one of my hands planted somewhere next to my head, while his other wandered over to my shirt before settling against my side. Before breaking away, he pried my muzzle open with his tongue and deepened the kiss, once more getting me to squeak and squirm with the new but good sensation. He broke away, breathing heavy, eyes glassy, and with a noticeable redder tinge in his cheeks than before.
How was that?
My arms came up to wrap around his neck, and I kissed him back. I wasn't sure if it was because I'd enjoyed it so much the first time, or I wanted more practice, or if it was something more than that. Either way, Orlando was willing to oblige me, kissing me with full force, but differently to the first time. It was warm, a pleasant warmth, that he somehow seemed to spread through me the longer we kissed. Was this what kissing Orlando was like without him pretending to be Dean? Was I just making out with one of my best friends now? It's perfectly normal. It didn't last that long at all, and we separated. My heart was racing, and as my arm slid out from around Orlando's neck, I felt his racing in his chest too.
That wasn't bad.
He laughed, shuffling back slightly and keeping his gaze averted. His tail was between his legs, even as ever so slightly, threatening to trip him on his retreat. Yeah, do you think I'd be alright with kissing in the future?
Yeah, you're a natural, I think.
Oh, well, good.
You don't need any more lessons from me. Nope.
Well, what if I want more?
Wait, really?
Am I gonna go platonic with Orlando? I think I will, actually, because I'm not. I don't know, guys. I feel I feel like I would just be friends with Orlando, you know. So yeah, you're probably right. This might get odd, right?
Right. Yeah. Good idea. I should get going back to my own room anyway and get to bed.
My eyes darted back when I noticed Orlando going to adjust himself, and I looked away, pretending I hadn't seen. We're going to get woken up by Haas early anyway, right?
Right. So, good night, Dave. Sleep well.
Yeah, you too. Orlando quietly left the room, almost tripping on his tail on the way out. No sooner than he was gone, I let out a sigh. I had apparently been keeping in and fell back on my bed. I pulled myself up off the bed after a couple of moments when the sound of a storm brewing outside made me yawn, stripping off my shirt to get comfortable again. So this is, yeah. Who are you? Oh, I normally ask where are you? Okay.
Me? Huh. An ally of sorts.
Okay.
I cannot give specifics, but all of you are marked for death.
Death? Now I was convinced I was dreaming, and went back to slapping my face to try and wake up.
Please do not slap yourself. You're making me nervous.
I'm making you nervous.
Ah, I apologize. I did not mean any alarm.
Okay.
Well, I do not know why Orlando wanted to have a little late Virgil in front of the vault. However, I feel like you warning him about the dangers of being brave has stopped him from meeting an unfortunate demise. No?
Wait, then. I stopped myself, wondering if whoever this was knew about Orlando's use of the vault too. Chances were, if he was surprised that I got it to work, probably not.
Was something amiss?
Oh no, just thinking about something funny. There was a moment of silence before the voice spoke up again. Interesting. Well, of course we're gonna stay. Does this just lead to an I mean, we're gonna stay. I don't know what that option does, so we'll just. Oh, okay.
Ready for the creepy thing?
So soon? Can't I have coffee first?
You could, but I feel the less that knows about this, the better.
But I feel the less that knows about this. But I don't understand that sentence. It's probably proper grammar, and I'm just an idiot. I gave Haas a careful look, grabbing my phone and stashing it in my pocket. Thinking back, it seemed to be in line with what Oz was asking for, the need or want to keep things hidden from everyone. Honestly, I didn't like it, but trusted that people had their reasons. How bad is it?
Depends. Potentially, could be someone snooping in our rooms. I'll have less of an issue with it if I knew what they were after, so I could just give them what they wanted.
I can understand that, yeah.
In any case, I've already woken Orlando, and he's headed to where we're going to have this talk. Figured I'd get him up first, so you could have a small sleep in.
But you didn't bring me coffee.
One day I'll wear you out off of coffee. One day.
You can't even do that in your own route, Haas.
Now, come on, let's go.
Oh, okay, so the piece of paper. Right, that was day 7. I gulped, seeing that words appear on the piece of paper, knowing full well that the list could be, and suddenly fell ill. My head began to spin a little, I still continuing down the list. Suspense, Peacekeeper, Deluge. I wondered what would happen if I tried inputting the words that made me see Roswell again. Oh. So that does, okay. That does come up since I typed in Discovery. Interesting. But at the same time, Orlando couldn't get the word that seemed to made him see it work. But did certain words only work for certain people? I wandered over to the keypad, trying a deep breath before quickly punching it in. A few moments passed before. Huh?
What? Were you expecting something to happen?
I tried again quickly, getting the same error message flashing up.
What? Where did you type?
Oh, I tried Discovery.
Why would you start halfway down the list?
I looked to Orlando, who seemed to pick up what was going on immediately.
Oh, I guess Dave was just thinking about the one that made the most sense.
That's fair. Oh, that's interesting. Okay, so, what am I? Okay. Anyway, well, why not go through the list? Could even take turns. Oh, okay, yeah, that. Oh, I did that in Haas's playthrough, right? So I guess leave it to Haas, his new dialogue. It'd probably be faster if you did it, Haas. That way we can all get to breakfast.
Oh, yeah. I'd love a cup of tea right now.
All right. Shouldn't take too long. One by one, Haas punched in the numbers, with each one accompanied by the angry beep. With how his face scrunched after each attempt, it seemed that none of them were working. Okay. I looked to Orlando, who only just realized what he'd let slip. What he let slip.
Still, if any of them did work, I don't think you'd be all too happy about it.
Oh, okay.
Oh, what I mean is.
Orlando looked to me, worried, but looking across to Haas.
Well, maybe it's best if I just show you. Hold on.
Orlando had wandered over to the keypad and typed something, getting the same incorrect chime.
What? No. Maybe I just typed it wrong.
Once more, he tried and got the same chime back. Hey, you don't need to make stuff up for me. It's all good.
No, that's not it. Tell him, Dave.
Oh, I look over at Haas, who looked between the both of us, confused. So, what's the bad thing about this? It's not, it's not a case of you put in the wrong word and someone dies, right? Orlando and I looked at one another. The silence only broken after a few moments with my nervous laughter.
Not exactly.
You can't be serious.
Sorry, but this is what happened yesterday. I was planning on camping here to try something, but Dave thinks he saw me die trying, right?
Something like that, yeah.
Only reason I did that was because I thought I saw Dave die, so.
The worst part of all of this is that I don't think you're lying, which either means you're both very good at bluffing, or you're both sharing some delusion about us being in danger. Well, we do know that Dave is bad at bluffing. Honestly, though, it's cute that you're that worried about one another, but nothing's wrong. Nothing's going to go wrong. Oh, Haas. Even then, if you'd opened the vault, you've seen what's inside. Not only that, but it'd be open now, right?
I guess that makes sense.
Try not to worry about it. Maybe you need some coffee after all, plus a good night's rest. Speaking of, I'm getting hungry myself. I'll let you guys sort yourselves out and meet you upstairs. Thanks for hearing me out, though. Next time I promise I won't make it so early. The moment Haas was gone, Orlando sighed, scratching the back of his head.
I'm sorry, Dave. Me and my big mouth.
Well, that's part of, that part could have gone better, that's for sure.
Hey, can we talk about yesterday, if only a little bit?
Oh, right. What about?
So I won't tell you what word I used, just to be safe. How I saw you die wasn't pretty.
That's not exactly fair, is it?
I guess not, but still, it's not exactly something that I'd want to be sharing. Just have to do my best to stop something maybe.
If is that why you had the knife?
The knife? Oh, right. I wasn't really sure what I could do to be proactive about stopping what I saw. I did think, though, that if someone was somehow doing something to this to make us think things, that maybe they'd
No, excuse me.
they'd want to they'd wait until we were all in bed to come back.
But a knife, though? Would you be able to follow through with?
Honestly, I don't know. Probably not. What's the alternative, though? Do nothing and watch you die? I have a trump card in my hand anyways, but I don't think that'd stop, well, a death like that.
Something to stop death?
Something Grandpa gave me in his will. Figured that if anyone would make use of it, I would.
But what is it?
I'm sure you can figure it out. That said, if what you saw was the truth, what could it mean? Are we in danger? Is something trying to kill us? Why? What did we do?
Orlando groaned, pulling at his beard.
Come on. I can't take it down here anymore. I need tea. You need coffee. And I'm being down here. And being down here is just depressing.
Orlando?
Yes?
I wandered over to him, noticing that he was working himself up to shaking violently in place. He lifted his arms, and I reach out and I hug him around his chest, with him returning the gesture in kind. We'll get through this. It's what friends do, right? They look out for one another. And I don't want my best friend dying, that's for sure.
I'm not going to die just yet either. Promise.
Orlando squeezed me back tight, tight enough that I squeaked from him, crushing me a little too much.
Oh, sorry. Time for breakfast?
Yeah, I need that coffee. Oh, okay. So I think I'll end the part there. So I'll see you around, everyone.